Why hello there, warriors and wizards alike. Shams Nelson here from Fantastic Anatomy, and in today's video I'm going to talk about how to draw your own D&D or any fantasy characters in Chibi style. And if you're familiar with my channel, you probably already know that I like drawing these little Chibi characters, and you'll see what I mean if you're not familiar very soon. But one of the main reasons I actually started this channel is because I wanted to draw my own fantasy characters, and for D&D or just for fun, but and that's where the name Fantastic Anatomy came from, is that I was exploring the anatomy of fantasy characters through drawing. So I want to start getting back to my roots because it's some fun stuff, and in this video I'm going to take these random character generators like dojon.bin.sh. I have that up here for you to look at. It's a great character generator, and I'm also going to show you another one. And fair warning, there will be a little bit of foul language in this Fantastic Anatomy video, and usually I try to avoid that, but this character generator I found was too good to pass up and not to share with you guys. But it does have some bad words, some potty mouth language. Alright, so enough of all this chitter chatter, let's get started. So let's go ahead and randomly generate some characters. So there's a lot of random generators on this dojon.bin.sh website, but the one that I'm going to use is just the fantasy. There's like AD&D, D20, Pathfinder, all the editions of D&D, science fiction, which has some Star Wars stuff too. But let's just go ahead and go to the, where is it, under fantasy, random generator, and then I'm going to do NPCs, because apparently there aren't any PCs for this. So I think it already randomly generated just by going here, so let's just take the first one to keep things random. Alright, so we've got a male elf professional. Oh, professional, okay, that's weird. These are NPC classes. Maybe I should skip down to a PC class. Let's see what we can do with this. He's short and heavy set with cropped auburn hair and blue eyes. He wears tailored clothing and numerous rings. Ingwion is searching for an ancient artifact of evil. Muffin, relax. My parakeet Muffin, as usual, is in studio with me, and Jingle, his adopted brother. But he was being quiet until I started talking, and then I guess he figured it was time to chatter. So if he keeps squawking, I will remove him. But anyways, alright, you know what? He's searching for an ancient artifact of evil. So a short, heavy-set, evil, professional guy. And numerous rings. Should we do that? Let's see, let's go down to this wizard, because it's a weird professional class, wizard. He has an angular face with auburn hair and green eyes. This is Ilan. Female halfling wizard. She wears worn clothing and wields a dagger and sling. Ilan has an animal companion, a snow owl named Elyon. I think that'll be more fun than an elf professional, because I don't know what a professional is. He doesn't have any weapons or anything. So let's stick with more PC-looking classes. So what we basically got is angular face, dagger and sling, and an animal companion. And it's a halfling wizard. So, since it's a halfling, I'm going to go ahead and make the head a little bit bigger than normal to kind of, or I guess you could think about it as the body being smaller. And she's got an angular face, so let's keep that more triangular. Oops, what's going on here? Oh, I know what's happening. Alright, sorry about this, guys. Alright, new layer. So I want to be on this layer over here. Alright. So make sure this is working. Cool. So I usually start off with the head, and so let's say we're going to make a female angular face. So maybe something like this with a point. And then since she's a halfling, I'm going to want to make her body pretty small, even by Chibi standards. Little hands. And so she's got a dagger, so we can just make a little cross here to show the dagger going through the hands, and then thicken it up a little bit. So she's got a dagger and the sling and a snowy owl. So what if we have, well, she's probably, like, the snowy owl is going to be pretty huge compared to her. Maybe she could even ride it. The thing is, I'm not sure how to draw a snowy owl off the top of my head. So I'm not going to flesh this guy out So he might look more like a snowy chicken or something. I don't know. Some of these owls have little horns. Alright, I'm not going to go more into the owl than that. Alright. Now let's get back to her. And so the sling, where is the sling? Maybe it's wrapped around her body like that. So I'll just represent it. And this is one of the fun things about when you're drawing your character. Like if you create a fantasy character and you're like, oh yeah, he has a sling and a dagger, but you don't really consider, well, where does he keep the sling or she keep the sling? You know what I mean? Was it in her pocket, strung around the body, stuff like that. And then so since it's a female character, we're gonna bring the waist in like this, and make the hands and the feet a little more pointy, a little more feminine that way. With a little bit of an hourglass shape. Alright. And so what is her personality like? Let's go back and look at this. We've got, oh, she's a wizard. So that's interesting. She's got a dagger and sling, but she's a wizard. How can we show she's a wizard? Auburn hair and green eyes. We're not going to do color today. So it doesn't say much about her personality, which is one of the reasons why I like the other character generator we're going to use. Uh-oh, which popped up down here. But, alright, I'll leave it down there. This is the second character generator we're going to use. And so you can see what I mean about the bad language. Humans these days. So I'm going to go ahead and put her eyes. And then let's have her looking at her thing. If you have the eyes looking straight ahead, it'll usually have like less personality. If you have the eyes looking to the side or looking somewhere else, it kind of gives them a feeling that they're like living in this world. If they're looking straight at you, I think it kind of like breaks the third wall or something like that. And I like to do the nose just like a little round something like that. So she's a wizard, huh? So maybe she's a little more serious than I'm making her here. Or mysterious, see? So just go ahead and edit her eyebrows a little bit like that. You got green eyes and auburn hair. Cool. We'll just imagine that. Maybe I'll add the color and show you the final results at the end. I guess this is the angular face. What kind of hair do we want for her? You can see actually that we want that shape so that we can show that she's a female. And what is she wearing? She's got the sling, maybe she's got a wizard's robe. That makes sense. Let's give her a wizard's robe since she's a wizard. And she doesn't have a staff or anything, evidently, so how can we show she's a wizard? Well, we could put like an energy ball in her hand or something, but I usually do that. So I'll just give her like an aura coming off of her. Something like this. It's always important to do sound effects when you're drawing your characters because that's awesome. Oh, and interesting. I was gonna give her hair, but I'm kind of digging the bald look, and I already gave her an aura, so maybe we should go ahead and do that. Make her head a little shinier, so we know that she's not like stubbly bald. She's clean bald. All right. And I think that's it. So right now we've gone ahead and created this. Oh wait, is she half elven? She's half elven, right? Female. Oh, halfling. Halfling. Oh, okay. So so I'm not really getting the halfling feeling. I think I can fix that by making her ears a little bigger, maybe. Let's try that out and see if it helps give that halfling feel. Alright, maybe. Usually bigger ears make characters look younger and or smaller. And same with bigger noses. But I don't want to make her nose too big because she's a female character, and I want to keep that. And then also, it's going to make her look more masculine if I make her nose bigger. Also accentuate her eyeliner a little bit. And you know what? I think I should make her a little bit smaller in general. Both of them, actually. Let's just make both of them a little smaller. Because the guy's standing, I want her in proportion to the one standing next to her. Alright. So, boom. There we have Elan, the female halfling wizard. Since she's a wizard, maybe she has a book and stuff, we could have added that, but let's keep things simple. That's one thing I like about Chibi characters, you can't get too crazy with them. So here we have Elan. Like her little oblivious looking owl. Familiar. Alright, cool. Now let's go to the next character generator, and you'll see what I mean about this. Who the beep is my D&D character? Let's see who he is. So as soon as you go to that site, it's going to automatically generate a character. So we'll just use the first one that pops up now. You think your character is cool? My character is a beeping moody gnome rogue from the worst brothel in town who is convinced they're always being left out. Wow. Maybe I should click that. Alright, a gnome rogue. So how would I, this is interesting, because how do you differentiate gnomes and halflings with chibi characters? Well, I shall show you. Alright, so for the gnome, I'm going to do a couple things. One, I'm going to make his nose bigger, and I'm also going to make his ears a little bigger and more cartoony. I think that's reminiscent of gnomes. I also like to give them like crazier hair and facial hairstyles. Okay, so she's looking at him because he is clearly the worst brothel in town, so he's got to be drunk and just dirty and horrible. Just a horrible, horrible, moody person. So let's see what we can do here. We're gonna have this the worst gnome in the worst brothel in town. That's horrible. And then you know what? Let's give him one of these, like World of Warcraft mustache, gnome mustaches. I think there was a character in Invader Sim called Mustachio, and it was like a balloon with a mustache or something. Let's give him some of these to show that he's clearly inebriated. And let's give him some hair. I don't want everyone to be bald. So he's trying to go for like, you know, these like soccer players who have the nice hair. I think they're all called Ronaldo or Ronaldinho or Ronaldinho. Just basically variations on that name. So let's see, what's his personality? It doesn't say if he's got weapons or anything like that, but he's a gnome rogue, so he probably has some daggers, is what I would imagine. Maybe they're like slung. So where does he keep his daggers? That's one question. So let's finish his pose. Okay, so now he looks like he's posing for Playboy, for Play Gnome magazine. Play Gnome magazine is selling like hotcakes in the realm of Greyhawk. If you haven't been there lately, you'll know when you get there. Play Gnome magazine. That's got to be the worst. All right, let's have the daggers coming across his chest. Now I know these are out of proportion, but that's the other thing about drawing the characters as chibi characters. I mean, it's obviously cartoony, so if the daggers are small like this, but then they get a little bigger when they're in the person's hand, like, I don't know, for me, who cares? It's kind of just getting the idea of the character across. So he has 3 daggers, because life has taught him that 2 daggers just isn't enough. It's simply inadequate. And then maybe he has a little armor because he doesn't trust some light leather armor, but, you know, he doesn't trust that things are going to go his way. He's got some supports on his wrists. Okay. And then some pants. Like that. So basically the idea with these characters is you start off with the head, and you can do the head in different shapes. And then you add the body, and the body is usually this kind of shape. But if it's a stronger character, hopefully the last one will be a strong character, you can do these kind of shapes. If it's a fatter character, you can do that kind of shape. So just imagine like that's a fatter character. Well, here's the regular. No. Here's a strong, buff character with the upside down triangle. And you just add the legs like that. Very simple. Very fun. Very nice. Alright. Cool. So I think that's it for this guy. I think we've got the point across. So I'm going to leave it at that. This is the moody gnome rogue. And he's always convinced he's being left out. That's why he's like not super excited about his life. So hopefully we'll have a non-tiny character. This guy doesn't have a name, does he? Alright, let's click the that sounds even terrible button. Now here's a dramatic gnome cleric. Okay, no more gnomes, no more halflings. From the wet desert. What in the world? I really don't know. Yeah, who saw their whole family consumed by a gelatinous cube. That sounds horrible. First off, living in the wet desert's got to be the worst thing ever. If it's a desert, yet it's wet. So you're assuming the definition of desert is that it doesn't get enough rainfall. Basically, it doesn't have it's below a certain number of inches rainfall per year. So I don't know what's making it wet. I'm assuming it's wet from this gelatinous goo. So this is a great campaign setting, this desert that's just covered in gelatinous cubes, and they ate his whole family, but no more gnomes. Okay, elf sorcerer, let's do this. Over-emotional elf sorcerer from an underwater monastery who is secretly fond of embroidery. Okay, great. So let's upplay the underwater part of it, and so he's a sorcerer. So let's say an elf sorcerer might be a little taller than these guys. And it's not quite as much as the height difference. I don't think should be as much as it would be with fully proportioned normal humans. So for elves, I like to do this kind of shape. And give him the elven ears, of course. And let's have him looking at this guy. Both of these are because he is very stinky. Like that. And for elves, I like to, in the D&D, there at 3.5, it had a page where it shows that elves' eyes are offset like onto this angle. Which I like. I think that gives a very elven look versus if the eyes were, you know, straight up horizontal, which is more typical. Something like that. So let's go ahead and give him these slanted eyes. I'm following this line for the most part. Now he's, what is it? He's an over-emotional elf sorcerer. So, from an underwater monastery. So how do we, maybe he's like, got some bags under his eyes from like crying and being, and maybe he feels bad for this gnome. He's like, oh, such a young, handsome gnome throwing his life away. So since we're turning the head this ear is going to be in front more, and let's make this shorter. Go behind the head. Maybe these aren't the most elven ears ever. They look a little more like satyrs than elves. So let's go ahead and fix that up. Make them a little more upright. Depends on how you want to do your elven ears. Obviously, it's a fantasy character, so it can look however you want it to look. But I'm kind of going with stereotypes here. I'm going to stick with that. Okay, let's give him some hair. So maybe his hair is beautiful, flowing elven hair. Legolas-esque. So let's give him like a braid. And then it just comes up. And then his body might be like this. And I think like that maybe. Now how's his height looking in comparison? We'll just go ahead and line his feet up. Something like that. So yeah, so he's a little taller. I think we can make him a little bigger even. Yeah. So maybe if those are like halflings, then that might be a full-sized chibi character. Something like that. He's an underwater sorcerer. So let's give him a staff, and he's kind of over emotional, so he's not holding it straight up in confidence, but he's just kind of got his staff in both hands, like fidgeting with it. And one of the things about drawing the chibi characters is, I mean, you can draw them just in a very static pose, but it's fun to give them personality because that really kind of, it helps you. It's like a feedback loop. I think that's what they're called, where like you put in information and then you get more out. So like by giving him this personality, like by drawing him, I'm going to be giving him more personality. You see what I mean? Because I'm going to discover things about him and come up with things while I'm drawing. It's kind of like thinking aloud, but thinking with pictures. So I really like doing that. I have a lot of fun with that. I have lots of pages in my sketchbook of just these kind of characters, just for fun. And then I come up with little stories about them or whatever in my head. It's a good time. And I'm going to make some other videos about other ways to draw D&D characters. And at the end I'll link some of my older videos that have that feature D&D character, or like that you can use to create D&D characters. So let's see, what do we want to do here? Let's give him like a fancy, he's elven, so maybe he has like a fancier outfit. What do we want to do here? Something like this. What if he has a cape? Alright. Cool. Poor guy. Let's make him even sadder, because he's over emotional. He's not just emotional. This is the saddest little party of adventurers I've ever seen. Let me just write down elf, sorcerer, and what is this guy? A halfling, a gnome halfling. It doesn't really say. Oh, gnome rogue. And this one was a halfling. Wizard. Not a very well balanced group. A little bit squishy, but I think Lenny the Owl here could probably tank for them. You know, he'll take the damage while they dish it out. High DPS group right here. All right, cool. So I think we can just leave it at that. Do I want to do anything else here? No, not really. I think I'm okay. I'll give him a little belt buckle. And then just show where his pants meet his shoes. And that's usually how I do it. Just put a line here, and that's going to be the below is the shoes and above is the pants. She looks more like a half-elf, halfling monk. So maybe I'll give her some tattoos. I think that might increase her wizardliness. So here is a tattoo. I'm thinking it's like a dragon. I don't know, that looks kind of crazy. Alright, let's not make it a dragon. Let's just have it be kind of like more geometric. Perhaps if it's a component for one of her spells. You know what I mean? That could be a cool thing. Like she's can cast these spells because she's put these strange tattoos on her body. There might be another one. It's like a square with a circle inside, and you need that to do something. It's kind of interesting. It makes her a little more wizardly, I think. And then you can give her like some gloves. I think some gloves would be nice. She's got her sling already. Cool. I think that's it. So I may or may not go ahead and color these right now. If I do color them, they'll pop up in a minute on the screen. So I decided to time-lapse the rest of this because I thought that would be kind of cool. And I really had fun making this these D&D Chibi characters. I like the idea of doing a Draw D&D series. I'm not sure if this is exactly the form it'll take, but if you guys have any ideas, then please let me know. But I just really like the idea because it's kind of gives you the randomly generated fantasy or sci-fi characters, which is kind of at the heart of fantastic anatomy. So we'll see if this becomes a series that I'll continue with. And my wife actually did some really funny commentary on all these characters, kind of fleshing out their stories. Like for instance, you may not be aware that Lenny is very determined. You can tell by his wide stance, apparently. And he actually really wants the group to stay together, but he thinks he should be the leader of the group. And he's a very ambitious level one barbarian. That's why he took a character class. He's not just the familiar of Elon anymore, but he is actually a barbarian warrior in his own right. And so yeah, so I had a lot of fun with this. And if you've entered into the contest, the little contest that I'm doing, giving away, you have to just go to this video. I'll put the link at the end of this video to the video I'm talking about, and I'm going to do a drawing like this for one person who left a comment. I'll draw it out of a hat randomly and design four chibi characters, any characters you want. They can be like you and your friends, or well, just anything really. So so yeah, go check out that video if you haven't, and leave me your comments, because the reason I wanted to get some feedback is because this channel's really taken off and getting lots of subscribers and stuff, which is friggin' awesome. And I wanted to see what you guys were thinking and what I can do better for this channel, what other new videos I can make and stuff like that, blah blah blah. So so yeah, I had a lot of fun with this, and hope Draw D&D will become some kind of recurring series. The one thing is, it would be nice to have like a co-host. I need to get a co-host, a coast. So when I start making the big dollars off Fantastic Anatomy, then I'll have to hold some auditions. Anyways, if you want to hear my wife's commentary on these videos, I recorded it and it's freaking hilarious, I think. But she was really shy, so leave a nice comment asking nicely, and maybe I can she'll let me upload that. And if you like this show, or if you have any ideas on how to make Draw D&D the most epically awesome it can be, then please let me know about that in the comments. And aside from that, I think all there is left to say is peace, God bless, and stay fantastic, everyone.